Hey, this is Brett. Brett and Cindy's TN Living. We got a new mission for today. We're going to start planting tomatoes. Since we're currently home from the situation at hand, we won't mention the name of, we thought we might as well just go ahead and get started. We can be here to cover them up if it gets cold and uncover them. Get us an early start. That also means we get a better chance at that ripe tomato before June 1st. But I've already done the tilling yesterday, done some digging. I do things differently than a lot of people. More video logging some of this stuff. I actually dig trenches and I plant tomato plants. I get about 18 to 20 tomatoes in a trench. I dig it as deep as I can go with the tiller because this is a lot of clay. It makes it very hard on the plant after it rains a few times. So by digging the trench, in my thoughts, it holds the water and it leaves the ground a little loose all around them. The roots can kind of spread out. This first one here, you can see I already got fertilizer in it. I sprinkled a little triple 15. That's common for around here. Most everything, unless you're planting something like beans that don't like nitrogen. This next row here, I've already put the fertilizer in it, and I started laying a little bit of the compost down through there and some dirt, covering up the fertilizer a little bit. Here in a minute I'll start putting the plants in. I'll show you how to lay them in, because I do that a little different too. Okay, now that I'm down on the ground laying tomatoes, I lay mine sideways. Of course, I lay mine with the trench, that way it has room to grow. Because any part of a tomato plant, as far as under the first limbs, you see the little fuzzy places will make roots. It's a weed. So I lay them down, cover them, just the dirt part up, and kind of prop the tomato up. Some people wonder why you do that. The tomato will turn back up after you do that. The sun will draw it back up, it'll come up straight. One, it keeps the tomato from going deeper into the ground because there's so much clay here. And two, it gets more roots in the ground because I'm burying more of the plant than just the root bed itself. And it'll give it room to grow down this trench because the trench will stay a little softer than the rest of the dirt. I got several more to go, so when I get them all in and get them all covered, we'll go to the next step. Well, I've got a whole row of them in the ground, laid on their side and buried up. I sprinkled a little azomite. Channel OAG recommended it for tomatoes. I've never replaced the minerals, but he said it was a good mineral replacement. I sprinkled a little Epsom salts down the side. Of course, fertilizer's in the bottom. I'm finna add a little more dirt to these, but I thought I'd let you see them when I got them just buried enough. I did have something a little funny to ask though. As I was burying these plants, I was telling Cindy about an article I read about how plants cry out for help. Some scientists have done studies and said that plants, when they're hurt or broken, can actually make a distress call up to an hour. As I laid these tomatoes on their side and buried them in dirt, I looked at her and I said, reckon these tomatoes are calling for help? They've fallen, they can't get up? Just a curious question. It takes a couple of days, but they will lean back up. They will straighten up and I'll have more roots in the ground, and the taproot will actually be running kind of downhill. Instead of going straight down, it'll be running almost horizontal and down this little trench I dug. When I get them completely buried, I'll turn the camera back on. Well, I've got the extra dirt around them. No, I didn't bury them. They're just enough dirt to make the roots good, but you don't want to bury the rest of the plant because it needs room to move. It needs to be able to pull itself up. I put dirt on both sides and all around them, but not on top of the plant itself. Need to make sure the plant doesn't have a dirt clod or a rock or something holding it down. That's not going to help it raise up any at all. It'll take 2 or 3 days, like I said, for them to come up. But as they come up, you can push dirt around them unless they're not piled on both sides. When the plant finally gets up pretty well straight, I'll hill the dirt around them. Then they'll be buried really deep in the dirt. Should be able to get all the nutrients they need. With the rain we've been having lately, they already have plenty of water. Well, I hope this was interesting to somebody. I know it's different from what most people do. This also works if you wait to the end of the season at the nurseries when they're putting out plants and they're way too tall and a lot of times they're throwing them away or giving them away. You can get a really tall plant and do the same thing to them. Get a free plant, bury it deep in the ground, lay it on its side, give it plenty of roots. A lot of times you can save it. Not every time, but most time. We do it every year. We wait for them to sell off all they want and they start getting rid of them. We'll go by and pick up a few extras. Hope y'all enjoyed. God bless.